I took my wife's car for an oil change, trusting the mechanic I had gone to for years. He greeted me with a smile, but there was something in his eyes I didn't notice at first, a flicker of mischief, almost knowing. As he led me to the service bay, he pulled me aside and whispered, "You need to see something before it's too late." My stomach tightened. "What do you mean?" I asked, curiosity and dread mixing into a tight knot. He led me around the corner, and I froze. There, leaning against her car, was a man I recognized immediately. Someone I had met at our last party. Someone who had smiled too easily, laughed too loudly, and now clearly had designs on my wife. My heart pounded, but I forced myself to stay calm. I didn't react in anger. Not yet. Instead, I stepped closer, watching silently as the mechanic explained that he had overheard my wife making arrangements to meet this man later that week, while I was out of town. The evidence hit me like a blow. I had suspected something for weeks, but seeing it laid out so plainly made my chest ache. I thanked the mechanic, paying him for the oil change and the information, and left without a word. Driving home, I considered my options. Rage and humiliation flared, but I knew that lashing out would only make me look desperate. Instead, I planned my response carefully, quietly, methodically. That evening, I prepared a calm setting at home. Lights dimmed, wine glasses ready, and my demeanor composed, confident, and unshakable. When she walked to the door, radiant and unaware of what I knew, I greeted her warmly, as if nothing had happened. She noticed a subtle difference in me, my calm, assured energy, but assumed it was a new level of relaxation after my long week. I poured a glass of wine, handed it to her, and said gently, "We need to talk about trust, choices, and respect." Her expression faltered, confusion flashing in her eyes. She opened her mouth to speak, but I raised a hand. "Not yet. I want to be sure we're both honest with ourselves." Over the next hour, I calmly laid out the situation, describing the mechanic's warning, my observations, and the inconsistencies I had noticed in her behavior. She froze, realizing I knew everything, and the color drained from her face. I didn't, she started, but I shook my head. "It doesn't matter what you didn't do. What matters is what you planned. And now, you see the reality of consequences." I stayed composed, refusing to raise my voice, letting her see that the betrayal did not control me. Instead, I had control, clarity, and dignity. Over the next days, she tried to manipulate, to apologize, to charm, but I remained steady, focused on my own strength and future. I took steps to protect myself and our relationship, insisting on counseling, setting boundaries, and observing her actions rather than words. Gradually, she understood that deception no longer held power over me. Her fear of losing trust and respect was evident in every gesture, every word. I realized that my calm, deliberate response had done more than expose her intentions. It had shifted the balance, showing that integrity and composure outweigh lies and manipulation. Weeks later, she approached me fully, finally honest and remorseful, acknowledging betrayal, expressing regret, and asking for forgiveness. I listened carefully, recognizing sincerity, but remaining cautious. "Forgiveness takes time," I said, "and is earned, not demanded." In the weeks and months that followed, our relationship transformed. Not magically, not easily, but through effort, honesty, and regained trust. My wife began showing consistent transparency, respect, and appreciation while I maintained my composure, proving that strength isn't loud or vengeful. It's steady, unshakable, and self-respecting. The day I reflected on the ordeal, I realized that sometimes the most powerful reactions aren't confrontational or explosive. They're calm, precise, and controlled. By staying composed in the face of betrayal, I not only preserved my dignity, but also gave her a chance to choose honesty and rebuild what was broken. And in that process, I discovered a personal strength I hadn't fully known before, a confidence in handling adversity, a recognition of what matters, and the understanding that betrayal, when met with poise and integrity, can lead to growth, clarity, and renewed trust. I learned that the right response isn't about shocking someone with anger. It's about showing them that your life, your peace, and your principles are untouchable.